The sparrow is a very calm-natured bird, but this bird once became the reason behind the deaths of 40 million people. It is said that we learn from our mistakes, but when a nation's leader makes a wrong decision, it can't be considered a mistake. It should be called foolishness, and all the residents had to bear the impact of that mistake. Today, in this video, I'll share with you the story of how this calm-natured bird became the reason behind the deaths of 40 million people, and why it is considered one of the saddest stories in history. You have to watch this video till the end to know the rest of the story. Before we go further, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming. It really helps the channel. Now, let's get back to the story. It was the year 1958. China's president was Mao Zedong. At that time, China was not as advanced as it is today. It was a very poor country. There were 650 million people in the country then, and their main occupation was agriculture. But their cultivation was limited to their own country. They were unable to earn money from exports. On top of that, diseases like dengue, malaria, and cholera were widespread. At that time, the world's richest country was Britain, and the second richest was America. Mao Zedong decided to make China the second richest country in the world. He promised the people that under the Communist Party, their country would become advanced. That's why he introduced a plan called the Great Leap Forward, meaning a great jump into the future. He told the people to produce iron and steel in their own homes to improve their financial condition, and he told farmers to cultivate more and more crops for export to other countries. But there was a problem. Cholera, dengue, and plague were major causes of death among the people, and these diseases were spread by mosquitoes and flies. So Mao Zedong launched a campaign called the Four Pests Campaign, and it turned out to be one of the biggest mistakes in history. This campaign targeted 4 creatures: mosquitoes, flies, rats, and sparrows. Mao Zedong ordered residents to kill these 4 animals on sight, believing it would reduce disease and boost the economy. Mosquitoes and flies were blamed for dengue and cholera. Rats were blamed for the plague. But why were sparrows targeted? Mao Zedong was a man who rarely thought an idea through before acting on it. At the time, the government had been told that a single sparrow eats about 4.5 kilograms of grain a year. They calculated that with so many sparrows in the country, an enormous amount of crops was being lost every year, and that killing the sparrows would boost the economy. Mao believed the country would be better off without these 4 creatures, and so the campaign to kill them began. This mission became like a war. From children to the army, everyone took part. People even found it fun to kill sparrows, since, unlike the other 3 pests, sparrows couldn't hide easily. They came up with new ways to kill them. One method was to bang drums loudly. This kept the birds flying until they dropped from exhaustion. At that point, people would kill them on the ground. Children hunted sparrows with slingshots. Men shot them with guns. People also set traps, smashed eggs, and destroyed nests to stop the birds from reproducing. From children to adults, ordinary citizens to soldiers, everyone took part in the sparrow hunt. Schools and cities even held sparrow hunting competitions, with prizes given to students who killed the most birds. People became so ruthless that they made garlands out of dead sparrows and wore them. On the very first day of the campaign, nearly 200,000 sparrows were killed. Killing birds became almost like an addiction. People genuinely began to enjoy it. Between 1958 and 1959, they killed around 1 billion sparrows, 1.5 billion rats, 10 kilograms of flies, and 11 kilograms of mosquitoes. There's one incident worth mentioning. A group of sparrows once took refuge inside the Polish embassy. The Chinese were barred from entering the embassy grounds by the Polish staff. So instead, they beat drums loudly outside until the birds took flight and shot them down as they flew. Within 2 years, sparrows had all but disappeared from China. But the appetite for killing birds didn't stop there. People began hunting other bird species too, and bird populations across China dropped sharply. At first, it appeared that Mao's campaign had been successful, but the Chinese people were about to suffer the consequences of disrupting the balance of nature. Every organism has a role to play in the food chain. Frogs eat insects. Snakes eat frogs. Eagles eat snakes. Remove one link and the whole system falls out of balance. Remove the eagle and snakes multiply. Remove the snake and frogs multiply. Disturb the balance of nature and the consequences can be devastating. The Chinese people had broken that rule. They had killed so many sparrows that the species nearly went extinct. What no one had realized was that sparrows didn't just eat crops. They also ate the insects that destroyed crops in far greater numbers. With the birds gone, insect populations exploded within the year. The worst of these were locust swarms, arriving by the hundreds of thousands, capable of destroying the crops of thousands of acres in a single sweep, moving from village to village in a way the Chinese people could never have imagined. The locust population grew so large that, within a year, China faced a massive food shortage. Even pesticides had no effect. The country was now feeling the full consequences of tampering with nature's balance. As crops kept failing, famine spread across the entire country. People fought over every harvest. Forced by hunger, they began eating tree roots, leaves, and even soil. Seeing this disaster unfold, Mao Zedong finally realized that sparrows were more valuable for eating crop-destroying insects than harmful for eating grain. He ordered the killing to stop, but it was too late. 40 million people died during the famine. The Chinese government, however, kept this a secret. They told the outside world that only a small number had died, and that it was due to natural causes. Later research revealed the true scale of the disaster. A Chinese journalist named Yang Jisheng, who was born during that period of famine, documented the tragedy in his book, stating that 30 to 40 million people had died. The Chinese government later banned this book, and to this day, the famine is rarely discussed openly in China. Even after all this, the Chinese government didn't stop making risky decisions. In the 1970s, Chinese farmers were permitted to capture and sell wild animals to boost their income, a practice some believe has since been linked to the emergence of new diseases, including COVID-19. Today's question for you: what was the name of the campaign that led to the killing of sparrows in China? Leave your answer in the comments. Dear viewers, if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel to get more videos like this. Thank you.